Should we have to vote for people we don't like? During an interview with Chicago radio station 670 The Score last week, Chicago-based reporter Hub Arkish admitted that while Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers has certainly played in the MVP caliber this season, he would still not receive Arkish's vote for the league's most valuable player. His reason? Aaron Rodgers is a real meanie. Arkish explained that Rodgers was, quote, the biggest jerk in the league, and, quote, I don't think a bad guy can be the most valuable player. These comments came under fire quickly, including from Rodgers himself, who responded, calling the writer a, quote, bum. Very rude, but also very rude to call someone a jerk. I say, we'll call it a wash. Arkish has since apologized for leaking his plans early, but does not seem to be changing his mind on refusing to vote for Rodgers. Which brings us back to the topic at hand. Should we have to vote for someone we don't like, simply due to their strong qualifications? Voter responsibility is a complex issue, but it's also one I've gained immense comprehension of through my own personal experience. Growing up, there was a kid in my grade named Stone Aston. Stone, as may be implied by being a child named Stone, was the coolest of all the children within the parameters of our school district lines. He was the most popular, most athletic, handsome, dated all the popular girls, including Mrs. Stevenson, who was the coolest teacher before she consequently went to prison. On the surface, Stone was awesome. But like anyone, Stone was also human, and humans make mistakes. When we were 8 years old, I was curb stomped by Stone. Now, looking back, one could argue it was my fault. He was playing catch with another cool kid, and then I, at the time, a non-cool kid, asked if I could play too. And then he proceeded to curb stomp me. Not sure how many of you out there have been curb stomped, let alone prepubescently so, but it is by no means an enjoyable experience. At least it wasn't for me anyways. I suppose I don't want to speak for anyone but myself. I'm a big anti-getting curb stomped guy, and for that matter, big anti-doing the curb stomping as well. So much so that if I was out there seeing someone attempting to get curb stomped or do a curb stomping, I would say, hey buddy, knock it off. Luckily for me, I still had my baby teeth at the age of 8 years old, and from the abundance of teeth lost, I gained a large sum of money from the tooth fairy. I then used that sum to go buy an ape NFT at the ground level, and now, well, I'm a millionaire. But this is besides the point. Years and tears later, we were seniors in high school, and like many high schoolers around the country, we were tasked with voting for prom king and prom queen. In this moment, I faced a true moral conundrum as I stared down my ballot. While I was still upset about the whole curb stomp thing, and NFTs wouldn't reach the value they have now for another 5 years, Stone had only continued to build his resume as the most popular boy in our school. And if anything, in a dark and somehow confusing way, the curb stomping actually probably contributed to that. There is no doubting that there was only one person deserving of the role of prom king, as defined by the criterion in which prom king is judged. I myself had to make a decision, much like Mr. Arkish does with his MVP vote, and ultimately, I decided to vote for Stone. I consider myself a man of integrity, a man that is capable of looking past petty personal grudges and thinking of the greater picture, that being the prom picture. The prom picture is a very big deal, as is winning an MVP award. Also, I was obviously afraid of the backlash that would possibly come from not voting for Stone. At this time, I had my adult teeth, and my NFT portfolio hadn't grown enough to be able to afford veneers or any other sort of replacement options. So I say to you, Mr. Arkish, if you're listening to this, don't let the tears from a few broken baby teeth blur your vision of the bigger picture. If deep down you can't deny that Aaron Rodgers has been the most valuable player in the NFL, don't let your personal petty judgments get in the way of doing what's right. It also mitigates the risk he calls you a bum again, which is a nice benefit as well.